and gentlemen, this is Kyle with your call today.
We brought up Jared Cal. No, that's not true. If anyone 7 years, two bottom. What she said? Stop the music. She said stop the music.
Socks in tight.
White Sox fans over here.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Slammer Stadium for this afternoon's Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference tournament matchup between the number 5 Saints of the University of St. Francis and the number 4 Eagles of Judson University. At this time, let's introduce today's starting lineups. First, for the Fighting Saints, leading things off at first base, number 31, Nate Maliska. Batting second and doing the catching, number 22, Jake Murdoch. Hitting third and playing second base, number 1, Max Montgomery. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 13, Ryan Lotan. Batting fifth, in left field, number 3, Dominic Alberico. Hitting sixth, the designated hitter, number 34, Dylan Scott-Furry. Hitting seventh and playing right field, number 6, Noah Munson. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 4, Ethan Fleming. And hitting ninth and playing center field, number 12, Mitch Thomas. On the mound this afternoon for the Fighting Saints, number 28, alcoholic in his 15th season. And now the starting lineup for the Judson Eagles. Leading things off in center field, number 1, Kevin Flores. Batting second, the right fielder, number 28, Blake Stempowski. Hitting third and playing first, number 12, Alan Navarro. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 0, Elijah Acevedo. Batting fifth at third base, number 21, Kyle Schwartz. Hitting sixth, the shortstop, number 2, Matt Armstrong. Hitting seventh, playing left field, number 14, Ryan Pitzer. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 18, Alex Wickett. Batting ninth and catching, number 38, Carson Hubert. And on the mound this afternoon for Judson, number 7, Owen Warner. The head coach for the Eagles is Evan Rochelle in his 3rd season. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and kindly remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Fighting Saints baseball is on the air from Slammer Stadium here in Joliet, Illinois. It's playoff baseball time, not only for the Fighting Saints, but for 5 other teams here competing this week in the CCAC Conference Championship hosted here. All games at Slammer Stadium. Rudy Flores here, both doing the broadcast and the public address announcing today, so you might hear me announce a couple names while I'm also broadcasting. So I apologize in advance for any abrupt interruptions that I may have to stop for. But as of now, today, it is our first matchup between the number 5 seeded away team, Fighting Saints, between the number 4 home team, Judson Eagles. These teams matched up 4 times during the regular season, back on April 3rd and April 4th. On April 3rd, the team split a 1-1 doubleheader, the Saints winning game 1 by a score of 9-3 before losing in 9 innings in the second game 3-1. And Judson swept the second day of the doubleheader at home, with them winning both games by scores of 5-4 and 1-5. So Judson has the season series here against the Saints, but they are 1-1 at home. This is technically considered a neutral game for the teams, with the Saints do not have a neutral game already during the season. Judson, on the other hand, is 14-8 in neutral games. We will give the starting lineups now, as Nate Maliska is going to come to bat for the Fighting Saints, and I will announce his name right now. Leading off the day for the Fighting Saints, the first baseman, number 31, Nate Maliska. So no walk-up songs here for the Saints, as this is a neutral game. However, I and myself, along with Jake, if he was doing this game, will still announce the Saints with the same inflection that we always do. Owen Warner is on the mound for the Judson Eagles. The first pitch, ground ball, fair ball. Warner moves to his right, gets it and throws over to first for the first out of the game. The catcher, number 22, Jake Murda. Murda comes to bat now as the 2-hitter and the catchers for the Fighting Saints. Maliska leads off. Jake Murda, the catcher, will be hitting second. Max Montgomery, the second baseman, will be hitting third. Ryan Lothon, the third baseman, in the cleanup spot. Dominic Alberico, the left fielder, true freshman, hits fifth in his first playoff action, as that pitch from Warner is a strike. Dylan Scafuri, the designated hitter, is hitting sixth. Noah Munson in right and hitting seventh. Ethan Fleming, the shortstop, hits eighth. Warner's next pitch, it hits Murda, and that is the first base runner of the game for the Saints. The second baseman, number 1, Max Montgomery. And Mitch Thomas will be the 9-hitter and patrolling with his gold glove style defense out in center. The pitcher for the Judson Eagles, Owen Warner, getting his numbers right now, looking for them. There they are. Has 11 starts this season, a 6-2 record, a 3.59 ERA. That first pitch, we need to get the count up for everybody. First pitch called a strike. 0-1 now to Max Montgomery. Misses high for a ball, 1-1. Montgomery hit .271 in conference play, getting 32 starts in a total of 32 games that he could have played. One of only a couple Saints to do that. The next pitch from Warner. This is up and in again for a ball. Defensive alignment for the Judson Eagles. I'm sorry, we'll do their starting lineup first. Batting first for Judson as that throw over to first, trying to keep Murda honest. Not in time from Warner. Kevin Flores is in center and leading off. Blake Stempowski, the right fielder, will hit second. Alan Navarro, the first baseman, will hit third. Elijah Acevedo, the designated hitter, hits cleanup as Montgomery fouls one back over our heads and out of the stadium. Count falls to 2-2 now. As I looked out to the scoreboard in left center, I cannot see the count on there, so I will be relying on my little scoreboard here on the screen next to me. Kyle Schwartz, the third baseman, hits fifth. Matt Armstrong, the shortstop, will hit sixth as the next pitch skied into center by Montgomery. Coming in for it is Flores. He will make the catch, and that'll be 2 outs now for the Fighting Saints. And now we'll bring up the third baseman, Ryan Lothon. Now batting the third baseman, number 13, Ryan Lothon. Kyle Pitzer, the left fielder, is hitting 7th. Alex Wickett, the second baseman, is 8th. And the 9th spot belongs to the catcher, Carson Hubert. As Warner comes set, he has 2 quick outs now in Lothan at the plate as he also skies one out to center. Flores having to come in for it again. Looks to have a beat on it, and he does. So despite a hit by pitch to the catcher, Jake Murdo, and Warner gets out of the inning with no runs, no hits. We'll come back in the bottom of the first. In the inning for the Fighting Saints, they scored no runs on no hits. There were no errors, and 1 runner was left on base. Oh my. Coming back now in the bottom of the first. Usually we would have the Fighting Saints hitting in the bottom first, but since this is a conference game and they are the lower seed, they are the away team for this game. Our second game today will be between the number 6 seed Indiana University South Bend and the number 3 seed St. Xavier Cougars. You could catch that one in action after this game, starting tentatively around 6 o'clock tonight. Leading off for the Eagles is the center fielder, Kevin Flores. Go ahead and announce. First pitch out to right field. Munson having to go back on it, and it is going to be off his mitt. Flores will trot into second base. He will be safe on that one. Munson had to go all the way almost back to the wall. It looked like it hit off his mitt. Not able to corral that one. The right fielder, Blake Stempowski. Stempowski will come to the plate now with already a man in scoring position after one pitch against USF starter this game, Jack Otis. Otis this season has a 5-4 record in 12 appearances, 11 of them starts, has thrown 2 complete games, holds a 4.70 ERA. The first pitch to Stempowski, called a strike on the outside corner. Good receive there by catcher Jake Murda. He's given up 31 earned runs, 46 strikeouts on 22 base on balls to go against that. Working ahead in the count now to Stempowski, 0-1. That one again out to right field. Munson going back on it, and he will make the catch. Tagging from second is Flores, as he will get into third without a throw. And now Judson already has an out in the inning, but a man on third, and that will bring up the first baseman, Alan Navarro. The first baseman, Alan Navarro. Navarro, one of Judson's best hitters, has a .358 average, 2 home runs on the season. Listed as a catcher on their roster. However, I think the last time Judson played here, it was also at first. That ground ball is going to go to Montgomery. That will score a run. Montgomery over to Muliska. But Judson is ahead already here in the bottom of the first, 1-0. the designated hitter, Elijah Acevedo. That will bring up the designated hitter, Elijah Acevedo. So Otis already giving up 1 run, looking to get out of the inning without any more damage. The first pitch misses low for a ball to Acevedo. Defensive alignment for the Fighting Saints. First in the outfield from left to right, Dominic Alberico, Mitch Thomas, Noah Munson. First to third, Nate Maliska, Max Montgomery, Ethan Fleming, Ryan Lothon. That next pitch misses outside for a ball, 2-0. Now the battery for the Fighting Saints, Jack Otis on the mound, Jake Murda behind the plate. Murda, another one of the Saints that started all 32 games. I think all of them were behind the plate. Is that ball out to center, coming in for it, Mitch Thomas. He will call off the infield and make the catch. So the Eagles strike first here with a quick double to start the inning before he was scored on that ground out. But Otis minimizes the damage, 1-0 going into the second inning. In the inning for the Eagles, they scored 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors, and 1 runner was left on base. There was no runners left on base. Coming back a little early here from break. Actually, not a little early. We are about to start the inning, which Dominic Alberico, the true freshman, will lead off. Leading off the inning for the Fighting Saints, the left fielder, number 3, Dominic Alberico. Alberico, as a true freshman this year for the Fighting Saints, led the team in conference average, hitting at a .375 clip. Started 22 games in 29 appearances. Fouls that first one off towards Judson's dugout as Owen Warner gets ahead 0-1 now. So Judson leading 1-0 here in the top of the second. These games are 9 innings. So a lot of time left for the Saints. Obviously, I don't think this game will end in a 1-0 score. So a lot of time for the Fighting Saints to come back here. That pitch was outside for a ball, 1-1. Warner's next pitch up the middle for a base hit by Dominic Alberico, who, as I mentioned last broadcast, is using Ryan Lothon's bat after his broke in the last series against Viterbo. That will bring up the designated hitter, Dylan Scafuri. The designated hitter, number 34, Dylan Scafuri. So Scafuri, the designated hitter, will come up with a man on. Got a really hot start out in this conference schedule. Was hitting almost 500 halfway through the schedule. Cooled off a little bit. Still finished with a .319 average in the conference games. .307 overall. Played 32 games in total. Fouls that one back. 25 of those 32 were in the conference schedule. So this is day 1 of our conference tournament here. Throw over to first, not in time. Alberico back. Give you the standings right now. So St. Ambrose, the number 1 seed, has a bye today, will not play, along with Olivet Nazarene, who the number 2 seed, who also does not play today. The next pitch, call the strike there to Scafuri, 0-2 now. Number 3, St. Xavier, will play number 6, Indiana South Bend, later tonight. Sorry, we're getting a count check here. Judson thinks it's strike 3. And Amanda Jensen, our scorekeeper today and Director of Athletic Communications, is indicating that it's strike 3, but I will not say that too loud. Seeing if maybe we can get a favorable call from the umpires here. As I was saying, number 6, Indiana South Bend, will play later against St. Xavier. And you are seeing right now the number 4 and number 5 seeded teams playing right now, Judson and St. Francis. The umps coming together. We have 2 field umps for this game since it is the playoffs. Normally we only have 1, but we will always have an ump at first and always have a field ump here along with our plate umpire. They are discussing right now whether that last pitch was strike 2 or strike 3 to Dylan Scafuri. Let's see what they are going to say here, walking back towards the Judson coach. Now looking up to the scores box here. Defensive lineman will give while we are waiting here. Pitzer out in left, Kevin Flores in center, Blake Stempowski in right. Alan Navarro, the first baseman, Alex Wickett at second. Armstrong is at short and Schwartz at third. Owen Warner, the pitcher, and Carson Hubert is the catcher, as we had the tournament director come into the box here and give the indication to the umpires that it indeed was strike 3. So that will sit Scafuri down for the first out of the inning, and that will bring up the right fielder, Noah Munson. The right fielder, number 6, Noah Munson. So 1 out in the inning now after that strikeout, which I don't think really a lot of people knew how many strikes there actually were. But it does end in the backwards K for Scafuri. That first pitch called a strike on the inside part of the plate from Warner to Munson. Munson had the same treatment as Alberico, got the start in the season in conference play, then was moved to the bench for a little bit, giving some other people some starts as the count evened there 1-1. For now, Munson back in the starting lineup here. Has hit very well, hit a walk-off bunt. It was actually last week against Viterbo in game 1. Misses down low for a ball, 2-1 now. Munson ahead in the count. Overall, he was second in team average with a .364 as that ball over to first. Trying to get Alberico again, not in time. Munson had a .364 average in conference play. .337 in total. Appeared in 38 games with 33 starts. The next pitch to Munson. Ground ball to Wickett at second base. Let's see what he'll do. He'll try to go to second. He does. Gets the first out there, or the second out of the inning, the first out of the play. And a light throw from Armstrong and Navarro as Munson, moving quick down the line, was able to beat it out. 2 outs in the inning now. The shortstop, number 4, Ethan Fleming. That will bring up Ethan Fleming, the shortstop. The man on first, 2 outs in the inning. Fleming fouls that one away to the right-hand side, out of play. And again, Warner ahead of another hitter. That seems to be his MO here in the start of this game. He's been getting ahead of the St. Francis hitters, getting them in non-favorable hitters counts as that pitch curves in there for a strike. 0-2 now, and Warner 1 out away from getting out of this second inning. Takes a peek over at Alberico, now comes set. The pitch. Ground ball, shortstop, Armstrong comes through it, fires over to first, and they will get Fleming by about a step. Inning over for the Fighting Saints. In the inning for the Saints, they scored no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, and 1 runner was left on base. back a little early here from break. What I wanted to mention at the start of last break, where I thought I was going to come out early, and then we ended up going to play right away, was the double by Kevin Flores in the first inning. Has been ruled a double by scorekeeper today, Amanda Judson, taking over for Dave in this tournament, at least for today. Leading off is Kyle Schwartz. The third baseman, Kyle Schwartz. Kyle Schwartz will lead it off against Otis, who sat down the last three Judson hitters last inning. Squares to bunt, but foul. Lothan charged in. Let's see where he will be playing. Meliska is back at first base, probably about 4 steps behind. Lothan also, even with a third base back, so not anticipating another bunt. He doesn't. That ball turfed. 1-1. So that Kevin Flores 2 bases was a double. But the last 3 hitters by Otis were sat down. 2 flyouts and a ground out last inning. It did score the run. So Judson is ahead 1-0. Otis looking to not let them increase that lead. Ball looks to be out in right field. It is. Munson comes in and makes the catch. 1 out. The shortstop, Matt Armstrong. We'll bring up Matt Armstrong, the shortstop now. Senior utility player, hitting .328 on the season. Schwartz, who just got out, one of 2 players, 3 players actually, on Judson's roster who are hitting over .400, along with Kevin Flores and Blake Stempowski, the 1-2 hitters. That pitch missed upstairs for a ball now. Otis, hands over his head, fouled away. Count evens at 1-1. Otis, although his ERA in the total season was .470, pitched a lot better in CCAC play with a .272 ERA, had a 4-3 record. Both of his complete games came in conference play as that one fouled off away over the Saints dugout, and Otis is ahead 1-2 now. See if he can sit down another Judson hitter in a row. That would be 5. I think last game I compared Otis's motion to that of Greg Maddox's with the hands over his head. That one fouled away. A very late swing there by Matt Armstrong. Keeps him alive. Otis, 46 strikeouts on the season. Leads the team. Next closest is Anthony Panzello, who most likely get the next start. The 1-2. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the turf. Murda comes out and fires over to Meliska. So a swinging drop third strike. 2-3 for those keeping a scorebook at home, and that will be the second out of the inning. The left fielder, Ryan Pitzer. Pitzer just hitting a couple bucks over 300 here to bring into the playoffs. Pitch misses down low for a ball. If these tournament games is double elimination, so even if one of these teams loses here, hopefully it will not be our Fighting Saints. They still are alive. That pitch misses up and in for a ball. A little chin music there to try and brush Pitzer off the plate. So it is double elimination. One loss will not sink any chances here that these teams come in with to win a CCAC title. That pitch outside for a ball. 3-0 now. Otis looking to bring it back. Gets the sign from Murda. Hands over the head, the pitch. In there for a called strike. We're going to bring it back from the 3-0 count now. Pitcher from the right side has an open stance. Murda again sets up, left leg out, almost even with Pitzer in the box. And Pitzer throws his bat away thinking that pitch was inside. It was not. Called strike 2 there, and the count even now. That's something I can tell you as an umpire myself that we don't really like, is when hitters throw their bats away thinking it was ball 4 when indeed the pitch was a strike. Never get you any favors. The payoff. Ground ball to the right side, fielded by Montgomery. Throws over to Mliska. 1-2-3 inning there for Jack Otis. We go to the third. Judson leads 1-0.
In the inning for the Eagles, no runs on no hits, there were no errors, and no runners were left on base.
Leading off for the Fighting Saints, the center fielder, number 12, Mitch Thomas. Mitch Thomas, who I like to call the second leadoff hitter of the Fighting Saints, will lead this third inning off. Top of the third here, 1-0 score. If you're just joining us, Judson is ahead. The first pitch, Thomas down the left field line, but foul. Will hit the netting and stay over in Judson's bullpen. The Saints are looking to hand Owen Warner his first conference loss. Comes into this game with a 4-0 record in 7 games started. He also has 4 complete games in his 11 full games started on this season. So the Saints looking to finally have an answer to him as Thomas fouls that one out of play again. Immediately down in this count, 0-2 now. Warner only has 1 strikeout in his first 2 innings. That was the Scafuri strikeout, which took a little bit, but finally came to the resolution that it was strike 3. Missed outside for a ball, 1-2. Thomas looking to get on base. Has some great speed for the Fighting Saints there. Pitch misses for a ball. Trying to find the stolen base part on my sheet here. Thomas, ground ball to short, fielded on a knee by Armstrong, throws to first, gets the speedy Thomas for the first out of the inning, and that will bring up the top of the order with Nate Mliska. The first baseman, number 31, Nate Mliska. Back to the top of the order now. Mliska grounded out to the pitcher in his first at-bat. Could not find the stolen base numbers on my sheet. Gonna have to look for that during the break. The first pitch from Warner to Mliska misses. Looked outside for a ball. Yeah, I'm looking here. I can't find it. Next pitch. Called a strike on the outside, part 1-1 now. What I can tell you here about Nate Mliska, leads the team in batting average .351, looking to get on base here for the Saints. Missed low, 2-1 now. During conference play, had a .339 average. Collected 14 RBIs and did hit a homer. That ball through the gap between the third baseman and the shortstop. And Mliska, with a base hit, will give the Fighting Saints their third runner on base in an inning in a row. And that will bring up the catcher, Jake Murdo, who was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. The catcher, number 22, Jake Murdo. So Murdo got on base in the first inning. Doesn't have a recorded at-bat. Only a plate appearance. With the hit by pitch, looked like it scraped his arm. Obviously appeared okay. First pitch there, misses outside for a ball. Meliska had 6 stolen bases in conference play. That one over, not even sliding back in there, is the Saints' first baseman. For all my kids out there, he had 6 stolen base attempts he had 6 stolen bases in 7 attempts. So he was 6 for 7 on the season. The next pitch to Murda, it was called a ball. Looked in there, as I get a face over there from Amanda. One must have missed up or something. We'll take it. 2-0 the count now. Pitch to Murda. Misses low. 3-0 Murda ahead in the count. Looking to get the first Saints runner in scoring position. Most likely not running here on this pitch. Coach Mahalik doesn't really run people all that often. Had 56 stolen base attempts in 32 games. In conference, that pitched in there for a strike. So just a little over 1 stolen base attempt a game. Most of them came from Max Montgomery and Mitchell Thomas. The only ones with more than 7 for this Fighting Saints offense. The 3-1. Swung on and missed, and now the count is full for Jake Murda, who hit an even .333 on the season. Is on base just over 400 as well. Looking to get on for a second time. A runner goes, swung on and missed at a pitch up, and Meliska gets in there. Umpire signals him safe, so a runner is in scoring position. Murda strikes out. That will bring up Max Montgomery. The second baseman, number 1, Max Montgomery, who flew out to center field his first at-bat. So a stolen base there by Nate Meliska will put him in scoring position. Murda, after working a 3-0 count, goes down on strikes. Warner's second of the day. As fire trucks leave the fire station out in left field. Montgomery, his first pitch, call the ball inside. Single most likely will score Meliska, who is pretty quick over there at first base. Outfield not really playing any more in than they have been this entire day. That pitch also missed up and in, 2-0. So Warner's been trying to sneak that breaking ball pitch he has in there for strike, looking to start it up near the batter's shoulder and gets it to drop in to about the high middle part of the zone. Hasn't been able to do that, but sneaks a fastball in there for a strike, 2-1 now. Second baseman over there, Alex Wickett, anticipating more of a ball up the middle, probably about 3 or 4 steps to the right of second base. Big hole between first and second that Montgomery could put an outside pitch in, but he hits it right to Wickett at second base, gets it over to Navarro. And the Fighting Saints do not score again here in the top of the third. Still 1-0.
In the inning for the Fighting Saints, they scored no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, and 1 runner was left on base.
Leading off the inning for Judson, number 18, Alex Wickett. So Alex Wickett, the second baseman, will lead off the inning for the Eagles. During my first broadcast here against Judson, I did the first 2 games of that series where the Saints did take 1. Otis misses outside there for a ball. I went home, my dad told me why I didn't mention that this dude's last name was the name of an Ewok in Star Wars. So here's the mention now of Alex Wickett, also the name of the Ewok from Return of the Jedi, as he fouled that one out to the left side, 1-1 now. I also did get confirmation in the middle of the inning as Jack Otis was warming up, as he goes into that windup right now. His 1-1. Pitch misses upstairs for a ball. That his windup did indeed remind us of Greg Maddox from 80s and 90s baseball enthusiast Amanda Jensen, sitting right next to me. So I did get confirmation I am not crazy, at least with this take, as that one misses outside for ball 3-1 now. Otis has sat down the last 6 Eagles in a row after letting up the leadoff double to start the game. When in danger of letting off the leadoff runner again, 3-1, outside, misses for a ball, and Wickett will walk down to first base. First base runner since Kevin Flores. The catcher, Carson Hubert. Now we'll bring up the catcher, Carson Hubert now. A freshman hitting .262 on the season. The signal caller behind the plate for the Eagles. Otis's first pitch on the outside for a strike. A lot of breaking balls thrown between these 2 pitchers. Looking to steal some strikes with them. Haven't gotten a lot of swings on them. Throws over to first, keeping Wickett honest. Wickett during the season. Let's see, where is his name on here? Had 8 stolen bases, was not caught stealing once, so a perfect 8 for 8. The next pitch, right to Montgomery, and that ball is going to play him. Into center field it goes. Tried to field that on a backhand, and it ends up hitting off his mitt and went into center. Let's see if that will be ruled a hit or an error. It is an error. So Hubert reaches by error, and we will have a pinch runner. Looking who that is right now, it is number 3, getting their roster out. Pinch running at first base, number 3, Nate Stempowski, and coming to the plate, Kevin Flores. So Nate Stempowski, the younger brother of Blake Stempowski, over to run at first base. Bring up Kevin Flores, who doubled his last at-bat. With runners in scoring position this time, Otis misses outside for a ball. Didn't look too particularly happy with that call. But back to work here in the stretch. His next pitch. Another one out to right field. Munson giving chase, and it is over his head and gone. A wall-scraping home run out to right field. That will put Judson ahead 4-0 now here in the bottom of the 3rd. That is the first homer led up by Jack Otis here in conference play, the 4th on the season. Flores just turned on that one, how he basically did with that double back in the first inning. Munson looked like he had a beat on it, and it just got over that shorter part of the wall out there in right field. Almost as tall as Munson, maybe a couple inches taller than him, but was not able to get up there to try and rob it. And that will bring up Blake Stempowski to bat here. That ball to first base. Meliska knocks it down. He's going to take it himself, and he gets there. Looked like he wanted to flip it to Jack Otis. Had his hand up to throw it, but then ended up taking it himself. That will be the first out of the inning. The first baseman, Alan Navarro. That will bring up the first baseman, Alan Navarro. Grounded out to second base. his first time up. So now the Saints in a bigger deficit as that ball into right. Munson doesn't even really have to move a step to make that catch. The designated hitter, Elijah Acevedo. That will bring up Acevedo. So 2 quick outs there after giving up the home run to Flores. Puts the Saints in a 4-0 deficit. Pitch there called a strike. If you look at their last series, Saints scored only over 4 runs once, scored 4 runs in one game as well, and scored 1 in the other 2. That ball fouled back will stay in the stadium. And Otis has Acevedo down 0-2 in the count now, looking to put him away and end this inning, get the Fighting Saints a chance to hit there in the top of the 4th. Pitch misses outside for a ball. So that error over there at second by Max Montgomery really hurt the Saints as a ball picked there could have probably turned to double play. That pitch misses outside for a ball now. 2-2. Double play could have been had on the error to the 9-hitter Carson Hubert. The 2-2. Down the left field line. It is foul. A couple feet to the left of the line. Instead, the error was made, and the next hitter, Flores, was able to put out a 3-run homer. So not all those runs are charged to Jack Otis. I think if my baseball statistic keeping is correct, it was only 2 of them. The 2-2. Foul away again to the left side. That one will get out of play. Looking for a 3rd out in a row to end this 3rd inning. Otis in his motion, now the pitch. Swung on and fouled. Murda could not hang on to it. I didn't know if he swung and missed, but the umpire says he did get a piece of it. We're going to put him away for his 2nd strikeout of the game. The 2-2. Ground ball, first base, foul. Just barely getting to the right-hand side of that first base bag. We will do the 2-2 pitch again. Acevedo fighting in this at-bat. Umpire asks him to step out as the Fighting Saints dugout retrieves that ball over in their bullpen. Again, the 2-2 to Acevedo. The pitch. Call the ball. Missed high and out again, and now it is worked to a 3-2 count as we now have a scoreboard with the score and the count in left field. That'll help a ton. Is that pitch inside? Called. Strike 3. Otis's 2nd strikeout of the day ends the 3rd inning. However, Judson does more damage as they increase their lead to 4 going into the top of the 4th. The 3rd baseman, number 13, Ryan
Lothar.
Back here in the top of the fourth, the Saints are going to look to chip into this Judson lead. That grew to 4 thanks to the Kevin Flores homer last inning. Leading off the inning is the third baseman, Lothar, and he skies that ball into shallow left. It looks like the third baseman had a beat on it, and he lost it. That was Schwartz, who ran over almost even with the foul line before having to drift back to his left. The wind blowing left to right here. So wind might have played a factor in that one. He dove and it hit off his mitt. Couldn't bring that one in. I'll bring up the freshman, Dominic Alberico now. The Saints looking to capitalize on that mistake by the Eagles. First pitch, called a strike. The left fielder, number 3, Dominic Alberico. So Warner gets ahead 0-1. Next pitch, inside, and it gets by the catcher, Hubert. Lothar will move down to second base, as I almost called him Louthan there. We did call Ryan Louthan the entire season before. Finally, last week, he told us that the correct pronunciation of his name is Ryan Lothar. So I've been getting better with it. Almost called him Louthan there, but corrected myself. Count even at 1-1 after that wild pitch. Alberico looking for a second hit of the game. Got the Saints' first hit of the game earlier. Pitch misses outside for a ball. Ahead in the count now, 2-1. As one of the teams has arrived, that might be actually one of the bye teams, as they do not have any uniforms on. Ball down to the third baseman. Schwartz throws over to first. Makes the play. So 1 for 2 down at third base is Schwartz this inning on the 5-3 ground out. Now we'll bring up the designated hitter, Dylan Scafuri. The designated hitter, number 34, Dylan Scafuri. Scafuri got caught looking his last at-bat. Now batting with a runner in scoring position. Would really help if they could cut into that 4-run Judson lead here in the top of the fourth. 1 out already. And Lothar was not able to advance on that last one, since there was a ground ball right at Schwartz at third. The first pitch to Scafuri was in there, a breaking ball for a strike. Warner comes set now. Is ready in his pitch. Scafuri, that ball might get in the gap. Giving chase is the left fielder, Pitzer. I thought it was a lot better hit there than it appeared. This pitcher really only had to move out 3 or 4 steps to his left before he was able to make that catch, and that'll bring up Munson. The right fielder, number 6, Noah Munson. After getting a runner in scoring position with no outs, Saints have 2, still Lothar stranded at second base. As Munson fouls that one off into the Judson's dugout, 0-1 the count. Louthan takes his lead at second. Shortstop moving really to hold him on. Now back over to his position. Not really a stolen base threat there at second is Louthan. He did have 3 during the season, but might not be looking to take third here, especially with 2 outs. And Munson, their second best hitter in conference at the plate, the 1-1. Called, strike on the outside part of the plate, 1-2 now. And if my knowledge of the CCAC team serves me correct, that is St. Ambrose that is sitting just below me. Have an off day today as the 1 seed. The 1-2 pitch misses outside for a ball, 2-2 now. So I think they are here just watching the action, who they might play tomorrow as well. We will have 4 games tomorrow. On Thursday, just 2 today, however, as the 4 and 5 teams and 3 and 6 teams are playing. That ball over to first base. Navarro knocks it down and will flip it over to Warner covering the bag. The Fighting Saints do not score here. Again in the top of the fourth. Score remains 4-0.
In the inning for the Fighting Saints, they scored no runs on no hits. There was 1 error, and 1 runner was left on base.
Kyle Schwartz will lead off this bottom of the fourth for the Judson Eagles. Committed the error last inning, didn't end up hurting much for them. The third baseman, Kyle Schwartz. The Fighting Saints baseball team aren't the only team that is in playoff action today in CCAC play. Softball team also playing at the moment. Trying to get a score here from Amanda. She has the game on. 1-0. 1-0 Fighting Saints are leading. As that ball up the middle hits the pitcher's mound. It will be fielded by Max Montgomery, but no play will be made on Schwartz at first. That ball hard hit up the middle, went right off the mound. But still a hard hit enough ball where it was able to get into the outfield. A good stop there by Montgomery. However, Schwartz was already at first. Amanda Judson, the former softball coach, watching her old team very closely here. We will provide updates as that happens. Right now here, Fighting Saints baseball down 4-0. And the pitch to Matt Armstrong misses up. The shortstop, Matt Armstrong. 1-0 now. So another leadoff runner on for the Eagles, the third one in just 4 innings against pitcher Jack Otis. Is that ball out to the right side? Meliska giving chase, but it will hit off the top of the net. Count even at 1-1. Not 100% sure what the bracket itself will look like going into tomorrow. We'll try and get that midway through this game, so we can tell you what the matchups might be that you'll see tomorrow. The 1-1. Ground ball to Lothan comes up, and he is not able to corral it. It was going to be a hard play, as he had to charge that ball and throw it on the move over to Meliska. However, couldn't even field it, so it will be first and second with no outs. And the left fielder, Ryan Pitzer. The left fielder, Ryan Pitzer. Waiting to see if that's a hit or an error. It's an error. It is an error. So the second of the game for the Fighting Saints. The first pitch to Pitzer. That ball out to center. Thomas giving chase. Looks like to have a beat on it. He does. Makes a throw without a step, but Schwartz tags up from second to third, and a very loud first out there for the Judson Eagles. We'll have runners on the corner now with Alex Wickett, who walked his last at bat and scored a run. The second baseman, Alex Wickett, as catcher Jake Murrah calls a first and third play. 1 out here. Not 100% sure they will throw through if Armstrong, the man on first, decides to run. So the second error of the game for the Fighting Saints, both on the infield. Not really helping out pitcher Jack Otis here. They are going to throw to second as Fleming came up. Did not get Schwartz on third to bite. So it'll be 2 runners in scoring position now on what we will call a defensive indifference, which is where there was not really a play made on the runner going to second base. Pitch was called the ball. And it looks like the Fighting Saints defense not really all the way in, as we've seen them before. However, are playing about a step or two behind what would be the cut of the grass. However, we will call it the green part of the turf. Pitch was called a strike, count even at 1-1. Meliska playing farther back, usually a little forward from his normal position. Lothan about a step away from the cut. Same for Montgomery. Fleming about 2 steps behind. That pitch misses for a ball. 2-1 now as Murrah walking out to his pitcher, Jack Otis. I will continue to fill in my scorecard. I'm sorry. E5. So Judson already up by 4, threatening again. Here in the bottom of the fourth, they have a runner on third, Kyle Schwartz, from a single. The runner on second, Matt Armstrong, reached from an error. Actually, I don't think that's Armstrong. Wicket steps back in now, ahead in the count 2-1. Or it is Armstrong, I'm sorry. There was a sac fly. That's how Schwartz got on third. Forgetting if there was a fielder's choice. That ball also out to left. Giving chase in is Alberico. And it's going to be Fleming who makes the catch from short. He throws to home, and he is safe. Oh, what a play out there by Fleming. I thought that ball was harder hit. And Alberico was coming in. Fleming made an over-the-shoulder catch. Some great range out there, especially playing in at shortstop. And they made a great on-the-money throw, especially without a step. From short to home, just a little late. The catcher, Carson Hubert. Throw was just a little late to Jake Murda. It was on the money. Murda made a great tag. Just Schwartz was able to beat it out. Armstrong still on second. First pitch to the 9-hitter Hubert, who reached via the error. Last at bat is a strike. So the very odd sac fly to an infielder position. That pitch in the turf. 1-1 now. Don't really see that a lot. I don't think I've even seen that this season. But on plays like that, where a infielder is ranging back, you will see the occasional sac fly like that. As that jammed him. Munson coming in right, will make the catch. So Otis limits the damage. Judson still scores 1. And they lead now 5-0 going into the top of the 5th. In the inning, the Eagles, they score 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 error, and 1 runner was left on base. The Fighting Saints coming to bat here in the top of the 5th. Haven't had much going for them. They've gotten hits off of Warner these past 2 innings. Got a runner in scoring position last inning as well. So if the trend continues, we should most likely score this inning, and that will hopefully start with here the shortstop Ethan Fleming 0 for 1 on the day with a ground out. The shortstop, number 4. Ethan Fleming. Fleming grounded out to the shortstop to end the 2nd inning in his last at-bat. So Warner in the windup now. Fleming bunts. Good bunt right down the line, but foul. Now, if that was the umpire the other night in that Cubs-Padres game, that ball might have been called fair. But unfortunately for the Fighting Saints, they are not here today. And these umpires did call that one correctly, so it is a foul ball, 0-1 count to Fleming. And yet another hitter that Warner has gotten ahead to. Already ready, waiting for Fleming to make eye contact with him, and now Warner's 0-1, fouled away into the stands, just over the stands, actually onto the concourse. And Fleming down 0-2 now. Saints put their leadoff hitter on base last inning, looking to do it for a 2nd inning in a row. Fleming to the pitcher. It is hit off of Warner's glove, and Fleming's going to beat it out. So almost a very spectacular play by the pitcher Warner there, hit right off his glove and went basically into no man's land between the pitcher, first and second baseman. So Fleming will pick up a hit, the third for the Fighting Saints. The center fielder, Mitch Thomas. They'll bring up Mitch Thomas now, who also grounded out to the shortstop in his last at-bat. Warner in the stretch, this pitch. Ground ball to Wickett at second base. He'll go to second for one. Armstrong throw to first, not in time as Thomas beats it out. So a fielder's choice there. The first baseman, number 31, Nate Maliska. Maliska, 1 for 2 today, singled in his last at bat in the third inning. So fielder's choice, 6-4 there for Mitchell Thomas, who is on first base. 10 for 11 in conference play for stealing as Maliska takes a first pitch strike there. Warner is not allowed a runner past second base against the Fighting Saints. Only had one runner in scoring position, which was in the last inning. Has had both a mix of fly ball outs and ground outs as Maliska line drive to the shortstop. It is caught the throw to first. He is out as Thomas began to run off contact. Maybe thought that that ball was going to get over or up the middle from Armstrong. However, Armstrong able to corral it and made a good throw, running throw to his left to Navarro at first. The Fighting Saints shoot themselves in the foot that inning and are still down 5-0 going to the bottom of the fifth.
In the inning for the Fighting Saints, they scored no runs on one hit. There was no errors, and no runners were left on base.
Let's talk about it.
An unfortunate end to that top of the fifth for the Fighting Saints. We'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Kevin Flores, for the Eagles. Leading off for the Eagles, the center fielder, Kevin Flores. Flores has gotten Otis's number twice. Today, doubled in the first inning, hit a home run that put the Eagles up 4-0 in the third inning. That ball misses in. Tried a breaking pitch there that Flores had to back out from. That home run for Flores was his 4th in CCAC play, his 7th on the year total. Pitch missed for a ball, 2-1 now. Otis has allowed the leadoff runner on base in 3 of the 4 innings. In every inning that the leadoff runner has gotten on base, they have also come around to score. The one inning that he didn't was the second, where he got Judson down 1-2-3. And he falls behind now, Flores 3-1. See what he will go with on this pitch. Misses, thought it missed outside for a ball. The umpire hadn't really called that pitch a lot today. However, he did on that one, and that brings the count to full at 3-2. Otis looking to sit down Flores for the first time today. The pitch. Ground ball to Lothan at third. Fields it cleanly. Throws to first. And Flores sits down for the first time today. So that will be the first out. As now some of the St. Xavier players who are playing at 6 are coming out to the field. The right fielder, Blake Stempowski. Stempowski will bat now. One of the elder brothers here on this team. His younger brother, Nate Stempowski, one of the pinch runners for this Eagles team. That pitch misses outside for a ball. That's kind of what I was talking about, where I thought that one fastball was outside for a ball. It was a strike, and I thought that pitch was on the outer part of the plate for a strike, and it was called a ball. So, pitch inside for a strike. Otis evens the count at 1-1. Second time sitting down the leadoff hitter. Got the 1-2-3 inning last time. Let's see if he'll do it again. Falls behind to Stempowski, 2-1 now. Oh for 2 on the day. Has a ground out to first base along with a fly out to right. The 2-1. Ground ball again to Lothan. Fields it cleanly again. The throw over to first for the second out of the inning. The second 5-3 ground out. So 2 different ground outs there to third base. We'll talk about them in a second. The first baseman, Alan Navarro. The first one, a chopping ball that Lothan had to field about waist level. Was able to field that one cleanly, and that one a hard hit ground ball that he had to go down and get. His first pitch, Navarro misses low for a ball. So although in the scorebook they both go in as 5-3, 2 very different plays. But Ryan Lothan came over as a catcher from St. Xavier University, fouls that one off to the right-hand side. As we get a score update, 2-0 on the softball game from Amanda. Thank you very much. 1-1 now. This is up and in. So Amanda will be giving me the softball updates as we go on here. They're also playing over in Crown Point, Indiana in their opening matchup of a CCAC game. They're playing Trinity Christian. Navarro out to right. Munson coming in. Slides, but he just knocks the ball down. That will be Navarro's first hit of the game after previously going 0 for 2. The designated hitter, Elijah Acevedo. Acevedo, another player here that has gone 0 for 2. So before that hit to Navarro, Otis had not let up any base runners to the 2 through 4 batters in this Judson lineup. You think that would lead to success as that ball is through the 3-4 gap. Munson comes up and fields it. Navarro will stop at second base, and 2 two-out hits for the Eagles will bring up the third baseman, Kyle Schwartz. The third baseman, Kyle Schwartz. Schwartz singled his last at-bat. Now we'll have a runner in scoring position in Alan Navarro, one of the bigger players on this Judson team. So a hard hit ball to any of the outfielders will most likely not score him, as Otis's first pitch to Schwartz misses on the outside part of the plate. So Navarro and Acevedo both going 0-2 in their first at-bats as Schwartz fouls one off himself. He falls down and now is hobbling back towards his dugout. Hope that he is okay. But Acevedo and Navarro both 0 for 2 in their first 2 at-bats. Were able to collect back-to-back hits here. 3-0 now for the Fighting Saints softball. As Coach Amanda told me that with a big smile on her face. Looking to make their second consecutive NAIA conference tournament. Or not conference tournament, NAIA national tournament. The 1-1 misses up for a ball, 2-1 now. So over there, that's Coach Alyssa Moreno's second year, was able to make that tournament in her rookie year as a coach after she did take over for Amanda after, I think, 12 years. Am I correct? 12 years? 12 years as the Fighting Saints softball coach before moving into a athletic office role as the director of athletic communications. As Schwartz fouled that one back now, 2-2 the count. Jack Otis one strike away and 1 out away from getting out of this inning with no damage and keeping the score at 5-0. The pitch. And it hits Schwartz. He tried an inside, looked like a changeup, but Schwartz just turned his back, hit right off the middle of it, it looked like, and that will bring up the shortstop, Matt Armstrong. The shortstop, Matt Armstrong. Armstrong with the bases loaded. 0 for 2 today, struck out in the first inning and reached on an error by Lothan. Last inning in the fourth. Jack Otis looking to limit the damage here. The first pitch misses up and in for a ball. So after getting 2 groundouts to start this inning, Otis has loaded the bases, 2 straight base hits, along with a hit by pitch, and looks like Coach Brian Mahalik will go out and talk to his pitcher now. No movement out there in the Fighting Saints bullpen. So let's see how Coach Mahalik wants to play this. His team already down by 5 here in the bottom of the 5th. And this tournament goes until Monday. So not many off days for these teams, as our athletic director, Dave Laquetta, has now made his appearance here in the box. Welcome, Dave. It's a 1-0 count to Armstrong now. Jack Otis, after the conversation with his manager, the pitch fouled back. Oh, I would have made that catch. I would have 100% made that catch if that ball went over the netting. However, it barely clipped the top of it. And the count is even now at 1-1. Otis gets his sign. From Jake Murda comes set. Looking to escape this jam. The 1-1. Misses high and out for a ball. Tried again to sneak that breaking ball in there. Could not locate it. 2-1 now, and he has nowhere to put Matt Armstrong. After the hit by pitch put on Schwartz. The 2-1. Ball fouled back over my head and out onto Jefferson Street behind us. Count even at 2-2, and again, Otis is 1 strike away from getting out of this inning unscathed. Really needs it here, especially with only 4 innings left in this ball game. The 2-2. Swung on to right field. It gets down. Fair ball. It's going to get in the corner. 2 runs will score. Let's see what Armstrong does at third. He is waved around. He gets in there, and Ryan Pitzer. I'm sorry, that was Armstrong who hit that ball. So it was Kyle Schwartz rounded from third to get home. And it is now an 8-0 Judson Eagles lead. The left fielder, Ryan Pitzer. So even though there's now an 8-run deficit, still no movement down in the Saints bullpen. So that triple by Matt Armstrong in the right field corner scores all 3 runners. That ball looks to be trouble out in the gap in right center, and it is gone. Now Ryan Pitzer, the left fielder, hit it right over where that Illinois Bone and Joint Institution sign is. Munson again gave chase, thinking maybe it would have stayed in the yard. However, it did not. And after getting 2 quick outs to start this inning, 5 runs have come in. And Alex Wickett, the second baseman, will bat now. He skies the ball out to left. Looks like it'll be in play. Alberico giving chase, and it is foul in Judson's bullpen. The second baseman, Alex Wickett. So Otis gets ahead. 5 runs here in the 5th inning for the Eagles. Have increased their lead to double digits, 10-0. Second baseman Wickett, actually has not had a plate appearance today. Hit a sacrifice fly last inning along with walking in the 3rd. He scored in the 3rd as well on the Kevin Flores home run, the first one of 2 today for the Eagles, the 0-2. Pitch misses upstairs for a ball, 1-2 now. The other one you just saw, hit by Ryan Pitzer, the left fielder. Otis in his windup the pitch, again misses upstairs, 2-2 now, and now there's somebody warming down in that Fighting Saints bullpen. Not 100% sure who that is. Otis is 2-2. Misses outside for a ball. Full count now, 3-2. He's allowed 5 straight base runners on a single, a hit by pitch, a triple, and a homer. After getting the 2 groundouts to Lothan to start the inning. The full count pitch. Called strike 3. I'm not sure the umpire knew what the count was, as he didn't give his normal strike 3 call. He just did the finger point. But that ends the inning. And a 5-run 5th for the Eagles puts them up 10-0 going into the top of the 6th.
In the inning for the Eagles, they score 5 runs on 4 hits. There were no errors, and no runners were left on base.
Leading off for the Fighting Saints, the catcher, number 22, Jake Murdoch. So, Fighting Saints now down by double digits, 10 runs after a 5-run 5th by the Judson Eagles. In their last series against Judson, in 4 games they scored a total of 16 runs. And here in 5 innings, they've scored 10. Didn't score more than 5 in a game last time. They scored 10 runs on day 2 combined when they won both those games 5-4 and 5-1. That pitch missed upstairs for a ball. Next pitch called a strike, 1-1 now. Murdoch struck out his last at bat, was hit by a pitch in his first, so 0 for 1 today. Fouls that one back. 1-2 now, and Warner almost on autopilot here. Saints ended that last inning on that line drive double play to Armstrong, who was able to make the catch and throw it over to Navarro at first. Caught Mitch Thomas too far off the bag. The 1-2. Inside for a ball. Warner still has not allowed a runner past second base. Has only had 1 runner on second base. That was Lothan in the 4th inning where he got there by the wild pitch. Pitch misses low for a ball, and now Murda's worked it to a full count. And at this point, the Saints just looking for a little morale boost. Murda into right, fouled away. Get up by the berm. At this rate, Coach Mahalik most likely not going to use any of his top-level bullpen arms, down by 10, unless the Saints offense can get back into this. Murda ground ball to Armstrong at short. Fields it cleanly, throws to Navarro at first. 6-3, first out of the inning. The second baseman, number 1, Max Montgomery. So with this tournament being double elimination, the Saints, unless they can mount a ferocious comeback in these last 4 innings, are not out yet, which is why maybe Coach Mahalik will not use his entire bullpen, and rightfully so. And the same could go for Judson, but at this point, Warner's rolling. Montgomery down the right field line, foul, back over by the bullpen. 1-1 the count now. But Warner, with 4 complete games on the season, might be looking to go for his 5th. Or they could save his arm for a later appearance in this tournament. Montgomery, that ball might be off the middle. Wicket makes a backhand play. The throw! Oh, what a play by Alex Wicket at second base. A great backhand before making a running throw, turning his body there. Navarro, a nice stretch at first base, gets the second out. The third baseman, number 13, Ryan Lothon. Looking to get a 2-out base runner. Here's the third baseman, Ryan Lothon. First pitch misses up for a ball, 1-0. Mercy rule here in CCAC play is 10 after 7. Next pitch swung and missed. A good breaking ball there by Warner. So the Saints will need to score a run at this point in their next 7 outs if they want to continue this game. That ball turfed, 2-1 now. We'll have to also match any runs that Judson scores in their next 2 half innings or 1 half inning at this point as well. I'm sorry, we are in the 6th, not the 5th, so there's only 4 outs that they have to get 1 run. The 3-1 misses upstairs, ball 4. And last inning, Judson scored all of their runs and got all of their base runners with 2 outs. Let's see if Fighting Saints can repeat that. The left fielder, number 3, Dominic Alberico. This inning almost started the same as last inning for the Eagles. 2 groundouts before now a base runner in Ryan Lothon. And they scored 5 runs in that bottom of the 5th. Fighting Saints looking to put up their own comeback here. Alberico bats now after reaching on an error by the third baseman on that pop-up, his last at-bat. Looking for his second hit of the day as Warner misses outside for a ball, 2-0 now. I'm sorry, Lothon had the error that last inning. Alberico grounded out to the third baseman, throw over to first. Navarro thought he had him, started skipping back towards his dugout. The umpire called him safe. 2-0 count now to Alberico. That pitch a strike. Alberico has one of the 3 hits for the Fighting Saints against Warner today. All the way back in that second inning. The 2-1 from Warner. Outside for a ball, 3-1 now. If Lothon can get to second base, he would only be the second runner in scoring position for the Fighting Saints, as he was the one to get on second base in the 4th. And he will again. Another walk issued there by Warner. That's his second of the day, and that will bring out Judson's coach to have a chat with his pitcher now. Dylan Scafuri will be the batter. Scafuri hitting just a tad over 300 this season. Does not have a hit in this contest today. Got caught looking in the second before flying out to left field in the fourth. Now hits with 2 runners on. Also, I think the first time today the Saints have had more than 1 runner on base as well. So hopefully they could turn it into the first time that they score to go along with those. Warner comes set. His first pitch to Scafuri. Swung on. That's going to get through. Stempowski in right. The throw will be cut off by Navarro as Lothan was held at third. But the bases will be loaded for the right fielder, Noah Munson. The right fielder, number 6, Noah Munson. Munson, 0 for 2 today. It's 2 ground outs, a fielder's choice, and a put out at first base. But with runners everywhere, looking to score the first runs of the game for the Fighting Saints. That pitch outside for a ball. That was also the Fighting Saints' first hit of the inning, after Lothan and Alberico both reached via the walk. First pitch missed outside for a ball. Next pitch, ground ball to wicket. We'll throw it over to Navarro. Despite the Saints loading it up, they will not score. Score remains 10-0 going to the bottom of the 6th. In the inning for the Fighting Saints, they scored no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, and 3 runners were left on base.
Somebody call 911. Shiny fire burning on the dance floor. Whoa. What's up, crime? Keep starting. Let's go back. Red one. Hey, hey. Shiny got that super thing. Out in the sun in the south of Spain. Got me soon as I walk through the door. Oh, I'm but it's good later. She got me on that thing. Got me wanna spend my money on her. She get it poppin', let's get up in that birthday cake. Gotta get the need to pull that crazy bag. I took my wish. On and my too much rain. Shawty was cool in the fire. Cool like fire. Somebody call 911. Shawty fire burning on the dance floor. Whoa. I gotta do her now. She want me to move the ground on the dance floor. Whoa. She's fire burning on the dance floor. That little shawty.
Leading off for the Eagles, the catcher, Carson Hubert. Back here in the bottom of the 6th, Judson leads 10-0 in this playoff action. The opening game of the CCAC 2026 conference tournament. On the mound now for the Fighting Saints, Chris Villawak. So I stood corrected when I said I thought the Saints were not going to use any of their high leverage bullpen arms here. So Chris is in, maybe to keep this lead at 10, which would allow the Saints only to need 1 run in that top of the 7th to not be slaughter ruled, as now the Indiana South Bend Trojans are sitting in the stands getting ready for their next game, which will take place at about 6 o'clock. That ball fouled away by Hubert, the catcher, 1 and 2 now. 0 for 2 today, has reached on an error and flew out to right field. Line drive caught by Fleming at short for the first out. The center fielder, Kevin Flores. Now we'll bring up the center fielder, Kevin Flores. Recorded his first out of the game on a ground out to third base, his last at bat. His previous 2, however, hit a double and a homer, both out to right field. Will face the lefty Vilwak in a lefty-lefty matchup and takes a strike here. Vilwak had a little down year this year, a 7.41 ERA in 15 appearances. Worked 17 innings in total this year, his 0-1. Out to center, and Thomas will hold up as it falls in front of him. That will be Kevin Flores' third hit of the game. And he is a triple away from the cycle if he gets to bat again. The right fielder, Blake Stempowski. Now we'll bring up Blake Stempowski, one of the only people in this lineup, actually the only person in the top 7 of this lineup who has not recorded a hit. We will be getting a runner here for Flores at first base. That is number 40. Let's look at their roster to see who that is. That is Zach Carpenter, a junior. Pinch running over at first. The first pitch from Vilwak. Curveball falls in there for a strike. Your attention, pitch running at first base, number 40, Zach Carpenter. So 0-1 now. To Stempowski, who bunts. It foul. Count even at 1-1. So it looks like that Judson is looking to get an insurance run, not for the lead that they have, as that is at 10, but instead for the slaughter rule, which is 10 after 7. Looking over at the softball score, it is 3-2 now. The Saints still lead. And he almost has him at first. Does he? Does! So the pinch runner Carpenter gets picked off by Vilwak. Good lefty move right there. Records the first out of the inning. And he's one strike away from getting the second out of the inning as well, as Carpenter takes the slow trot back over to his dugout. So that one hurts, as I was saying before. They are currently at the slaughter rule as that ball is turned on foul and out of the stadium. However, the Saints at this point only need one run in the top of the 7th to keep this game going. But they have not scored since that first game against Viterbo last Saturday. That ball fouled back onto Jefferson. Count remains 0-2 as the Saints went scoreless in that second game against Viterbo University, who was not present here in this tournament. Did not make the cut. The 0-2 from Vilwak misses up for a ball. Alan Navarro on deck, who singled in his last at-bat and was the first of 5 runs to score last inning. Vilwak misses up with that one, 2-2 now. Vilwak in 7 appearances in CCAC play has a 4.50 ERA, so down the stretch of the season was pitching better. That ball out to center. Thomas moving to his left. He will make the catch. That is it for for the Eagles that inning. They don't score. In almost 1-2-3 inning, if you count the pickoff at first base, the Saints will need 1 run when we come back in the top of the 7th. In the inning for the Eagles, they scored no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, and no runners were left on base. So the Fighting Saints here in their potentially last at-bats of the game. They need a run to keep it going. But Owen Warner has put up 6 donuts in a row and looking for a 7th, but Fleming into right field. His second base hit of the game, the Saints' first of the inning. And the Saints now have a base hit for the 3rd inning in a row. That will bring up Mitch Thomas, the center fielder. Mitch Thomas, who is 0 for 2 today. Had a fielder's choice before being doubled off in that 5th inning, along with a ground out in the 3rd. If Fleming scores from first base, this game will continue, as there is a 10-run slaughter rule here in CCAC. And looking over now at the softball score, it appears that Trinity Christian has taken the lead over the softball Saints 4-3. So now both teams are behind. Baseball team a little more behind, down by 10 here in the top of the 7th. Usually the Saints are the home team here at Slammer Stadium. However, in this CCAC conference matchup, they are the lower seed. So they are the away team. 1-1 is the count to Mitchell Thomas, the center fielder. Fleming at first base. Pitch is turfed. Thomas is ahead 2-1 now to Owen Warner, who's still out there for the Eagles, looking for the complete game. There is somebody down in the bullpen for Judson. However, he's not throwing. There's no catcher out there to catch him. The 2-1 fouled away. Count evens at 2-2. A reminder for fans, the next game of this tournament will take place at 6 o'clock tonight between the 3-seed St. Xavier Cougars and the 6-seed Indiana University South Bend Trojans. Pitch misses outside for a ball, but looking for a little more action here is the Fighting Saints. Has a full count to Mitchell Thomas. Looking to move over Fleming into scoring position. Warner's pitch. Outside, ball 4. And now moving over to first base is Thomas. Fleming to second. That will bring up the leadoff hitter, Nate Maliska. The first baseman, number 31, Nate Maliska. So the leadoff hitter, Maliska, 1 for 3. Has a single line out and a ground out today. And with no outs here, at least looking over to third to move over Fleming. The first pitch. Ground ball to Wickett at second base. He goes to Armstrong at short for 1. The throw to Navarro at first for 2. So he does move over Fleming to third at the expense of 2 outs. And the Saints are down to their final out now with catcher Jake Murda at the plate. The catcher, number 22, Jake Murda. Murda 0 for 2, ground out, strikeout, and hit by a pitch back in the first inning. So Warner, after allowing the first 2 runners on, gets a quick double play to the first baseman, Nate Maliska. And there's 2 outs now. He's 1 out away from completing this game. Saints, though, however, if they can score Fleming from third, the game will at least go to the bottom of the 7th. Murda out to right again, just as he did the first pitch. Foul, and it is 0-2 now, and Warner 1 strike away from completing this game. Gets his sign from Hubert, the catcher. The wind up the pitch. Up and in, and Judson started celebrating, thinking that it was strike 3. And looking over now, Trinity Christian is ahead of the St. Francis Fighting Saints 6-3 in the softball game. Warner's 1-2. Murda out to right. It will get out of play despite Stempowski giving chase. So these latter innings for both the Fighting Saints baseball and softball have not been the kindest. Murda looking to extend this game. The 1-2 called strike 3. And that will end the ball game. The Judson Eagles win this first game of the CCAC tournament by a score of 10-0 against the Fighting Saints. We will get final lines when we come back.
In game 1 of the CCAC tournament, the Judson Eagles have defeated the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints by a score of 10-0. The winning pitcher for the Judson Eagles is Owen Warner. His playoff record improves to 1-0. The losing pitcher, Jack Otis, for the Fighting Saints, his record 0-1.
Is the announcing over for now to play the music?
Amanda, what were the final lines? Or do you not have that? 0-5-2 and final line scores for the game. First, for the victorious Judson Eagles, they scored 10 runs on 8 hits and committed 1 error. For the losing Fighting Saints, they scored no runs on 5 hits and committed 2 errors.
Should we play the music now then?
Next game of this tournament will take place at 6 o'clock between the 3rd seed St. Xavier Cougars and the 6th seed Indiana University South Bend.
Start it now.
Yep.
So final line scores that we have here, as I just announced them out for the victorious Judson Eagles. A 10-run barrage on 8 hits, and they committed 1 error. For the Fighting Saints, they went scoreless for a second game in a row on 5 hits, and they committed 2 errors. Owen Warner on his season gets his 7th win, his 5th complete game as well. His record improves to 7-2 with his playoff record 1-0. Jack Otis for the Fighting Saints falls to an even 5-5 record, and his playoff record 0-1. Not really much you can say for that game for the Fighting Saints. They faced a very, very good opener there for Judson in Owen Warner. Unfortunately, Jack Otis wasn't at the top of his game today, as we kind of saw on last Saturday in Game 2 against Viterbo, where he pitched very well, hoping that he could have carried that one over. However, he gave up 9 earned runs, 10 in total, against the Eagles. So the Saints will pack it up. Not 100% sure when these teams will play tomorrow, but they will be back in action at some point tomorrow. There are 4 games at 10, 1, 4, and 7. But the next game of this tournament will take place in about an hour and 15 minutes. It will be between the number 3 seed St. Xavier Cougars and the number 6 seed Indiana University South Bend Trojans. We will have that game here on the Fighting Saints YouTube page in about an hour. I'm not sure who will be calling that game, but if it is not me, thank you all for listening today to Fighting Saints Baseball, and we hope tomorrow that we will have a better result. For Rudy Flores, Amanda Jensen, and Dave Laquetta, thank you for listening.